April 24th, 2022. Beautiful day to depart Bahia de los Muertos here in Mexico. So that's in our rear view mirror, so to speak. And we are off for anchorages unknown at this point. Just some of the things you see out here as you cruise around. Thought I'd give you a look at this beautiful, gigantic ship with a helicopter on the second layer of the aft deck. Beautiful. It shows on AIS that it's called Anticia 4. On approach to Playa Bonanza. This is a look as we're coming in. After that. But I'm going to walk forward and see what we can see up front. Follow Ricky up. We have a squeak in our boom. So he's been working on putting a little lubricant on that. So you can tell by his shorts, swim trunks. Yeah, it is. Up there went your cap. Is it still on deck? Yep. Okay, I'm coming. Goes all the way back. Pocket. Pocket cap. So he's going to do that. But you can tell it's a little breezy. My shadow indicates a little bit of breeze. See? But there's our anchor going out that way. So you can see it. Pretty cool. But yeah, we've got one other boat in here. They're tucked in just a little farther than us. But should these winds change in the night, we wanted room to be able to maneuver and get out of here. And from that point of rock right there on over is no anchoring zone. I think probably the rocks are just a little bit too much in there. It doesn't say why, it just says it is forbidden to anchor there. So we did not. We got a power boat there, and there was a sailboat out here playing just a little bit ago. Oh, he's over there. So I don't know, maybe those guys will come in here yet. I don't know. But there's a look at our aqua colored water. I don't see any fish yet, but we'll sure find out if they show up.
Here it is, April 25th, sunset. The sun just dropped below the hills here on Isla Espiritu Santo. And we are in Bonanza Bay, as you know from Judy's previous videos. Wind is still blowing a good 7 to 10 knots through here. We have 4 boats in here tonight. I have 3 neighbors. One big boat, at least 65, could be bigger. Big power boat over there. We got this trawler over here, and we have a little bitty sailboat over there. Came in, dropped anchor. Right around that point there is Lorenzo. The Lorenzo Passage, I think it is. And you go there into Bahia La Paz. Bahia de La Paz, I guess.
So we're getting ready to come into Bahia de La Paz here in Mexico. We're going to get some fuel see if we can find a guest slip for a couple nights, just so we can try to get some spare parts for our dinghy wheel, tire, not wheel, tire, and maybe just check out the town, grab a couple groceries, and then head back out into the sea. But we'll see if they have any guest docks available. If not, we'll go in, give a call to some of the others. There's like 3 or 4 in here. And if nobody has anything, which is what I have a feeling we're going to find, we'll see how the anchorage is. They call it the La Paz Waltz in the anchorage area, because with the currents and the tides in there, everybody's doing their own thing, and it's usually very crowded. So boats do the bumper dance, but they do call it the La Cruz Waltz. So your boat could get bumped into, or you could bump into somebody else, and that's not something I really want to do. So here is the little Coastabaja Marina. They do not have a slip for us tonight, but they're going to let us stay on the fuel dock until one of the boats departs, and then they will give us the slip to go into for tonight, possibly, and then yet for sure tomorrow. So it's kind of complicated how they do things here, and it is very expensive. For no power on the fuel dock, for our length of boat, it's $134 a night. With power, for 2 nights, it's $268. So it gets expensive, or $145 if you have electricity. So I was hoping to get electricity so I could get a little bit of laundry done while we were here, but it looks like I'm going to be tied up on no electricity for 1 night for sure, unless the boat that needs to go out to the ship gets out of the dock. They always tell them what time they come off the dock and then go. So we'll have to give you a view later on.
Good morning. We are just heading out of Coastabaja Marina here in La Paz. And Judy's out handling the dock lines, getting the fenders up. And just coming out of the entry, or exit, there was a whale who just rolled up and down. I was hoping to catch another shot of him, of course. And but I haven't seen him or her since. So we'll have to keep our eyes peeled for sea creatures nearby. Today we were thinking of going up to Espiritu Santo and trying some of those anchorages, but every night they have cormels that blow through there, and all of those bays face to the southwest where the cormels come from. So we've decided, instead of worrying about that, it's about 8 hours to Isla San Francisco, and they don't have the cormels there. At least they're not forecast to go that far north. It's about an 8-hour trip. So that's where we're planning on heading. So anyway, that's the story, and we're sticking to it. And looks like Judy is heading back. So we will notify you of updates as we go. Say good morning, darling.
Good morning, darling.
No, thank you. Over on our starboard side is the island Espiritu Santo. This is a real favorite place of cruisers at the right time of year because of all the little bays that have fingers up into that island. You can see here a couple of them with the white sand beaches and the red rocks. And so each of those little points has a bay in between them, and some of them are too small, of course, to get into and do any good, but and this one has been put off limits. People can't anchor in that one. Balandra, I believe it is. for some reason. I don't know why. And then there's another one up here, and it looks like a hen's footprint, so they've named it after, you know, the hen, the rooster, and something else. Anyway, it's kind of interesting. But it's a beautiful place. But every night the Cormel winds are predicted to blow, and they come from the southwest, and they blow right into these bays. And so it would be not only uncomfortable, but potentially dangerous if your anchor drags, and you could end up on the beach in there. Some of them have mangroves, some have beaches, some don't. So that was one of the things we were looking forward to doing, but we're just not confident enough to go in there and anchor and spend the night with those Cormels. Now, when we first started thinking of coming up here, we kept hearing that April and May are the best times to come up and cruise the Sea of Cortez. Well, we've also heard that you need to be out of La Paz by November, so because of the northers that blow. So the winds have, at least periodically, they come in and blow from the south. But we still do have a slight northerly component fairly often. This is the Cormels are, if you look over on the west side of the bay, those hills are pretty low, and so they're not you know, big mountains, and so when winds come down the Pacific side, they could come over those and blow through this bay, and they'll blow 30, 35 knots, 40 knots, and it's usually like in the early morning from like 12 or 2 a.m. to 5 to 7 a.m. and so you really don't want to be caught in that unawares.
So this range of mountains here is called the Playa Candelero, and there's 3 lobes in here. We're headed into one. There's one there. You can see one there, and then there's about 2 or 3 down there too. But a few boats in here. These are open to any winds whatsoever from the west. So power boats on the move. So you just have to be aware of that if you think you're going to anchor here all night. Find your spot that you could that might be tucked around a hill somewhere to stop from all the westerly winds, the Cormels. So we'll see. I would guess that some of these will leave here in a little while, but we're going to go in and check it out. Okay, so we have stopped in Ensenada Cordonal. That's what this little bay is called. A little on the breezy side in here. You can see my flag. That'll give you a good indication. Which is good in these coves, because if you don't have it, you could have some bugs, you could have all kinds of things. So a breeze is nice. We are pretty close to this rocky shore over here, which has me a tad concerned if we drag anchor any, but otherwise this is what we have. Pretty windy up here. Have to drop the dinghy and try to get over there in the shore and see what we have. Not much shoreline in here, so you'll be playing in the water more than you would anywhere else, but might be some snorkeling in the lighter turquoise water you see there. I think we got a little bit of mangrove area going up in there. But basically it's us in the catamaran in front of us, and then on to this.
Well, it's past sunset on the good ship Akia, and sun is still shining on the hill next to us on the south side of the bay. It's really pretty. Another boat going past the entrance. Don't know where they're going. And the rest of the bay. Everybody's settling in for the evening. A couple of people went out in their dinghies. There's one way over there on the far side from this catamaran here on the front. And then this catamaran in the back went earlier and went into the lagoon.
Yeah.
There's this bay. We just, on the spur of the moment, we'd been talking about stopping on Espiritu Santo for months. And I was afraid of the caramels that come through, and we decided yesterday, to heck with it, we're coming in here anyway, and we hope we're far enough north the caramels aren't so bad. So last night they blew up to 18 knots. It was only for a couple hours. It wasn't bad at all. So, and this bay is pretty narrow and long, so the impact was minimal for us. So I am glad we decided to come in here at Judy's prompting.
Yes.
Face your fears, she says. Get over it.
You said you wanted to go to bays where nobody else was and find a little spot and get in there and explore it, and you pass them by. It's like, what the heck?
What the heck? So here we are.
Kind of a picture-perfect cactus right there on that rock. All by its lonesome. It's big. Big one.
Well, we made it into the lagoon on the back side. It is just gorgeous. Just breathtakingly beautiful in here. All the mangroves. Well, Judy,
Well, Rick.
what do you think of this? What do you think of this little lagoon here?
Well, I think it's deserted. I think it has a few mangroves. It's hot. It's buggy. But, you know, nice.
Other than that, it's perfect.
Pretty nice, pretty nice.